Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back in time to explore the daily life of a baker in ancient Rome. Imagine the bustling streets, the aroma of freshly baked bread wafting through the air, and the rhythmic sounds of kneading and milling. But be warned, this was no 9 to 5 job. You'd be up before the roosters, working tirelessly to feed a city that practically ran on bread. And let's be honest, with the sanitation standards of the time, you probably want to keep a safe distance from the kitchen. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The first light of dawn is still a distant promise as you rise from your straw-filled mattress. The city of Rome sleeps, but your day as a pista, a baker, begins in the quiet hours when even the most industrious merchants are still in slumber. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of the Tiber River, and the streets are eerily silent, save for the occasional clatter of a stray cat knocking over a clay pot. You light a small oil lamp, its flickering flame casting dancing shadows on the walls of your modest insular apartment. The room is sparse but functional, with a simple wooden table, a few stools, and a storage area for your baking tools. The walls are adorned with faded frescoes depicting scenes of daily life, perhaps a nod to the artistry that even the most utilitarian professions can inspire. After a quick wash using water from a clay jug, you don your tunic, tying it securely at the waist with a leather belt. A pair of well-worn sandals completes your attire. You grab a small loaf of yesterday's bread, still edible, though a bit stale, and a piece of cheese, consuming them quickly to fuel the long hours ahead. Stepping out into the narrow alleyway, you make your way to the Pistrinum, the bakery where you work. The streets are dimly lit by the occasional torch, and the sound of your footsteps echoes off the stone walls. As you walk, you pass by the grand temples and bustling markets that will soon come to life, but for now, they stand in silent anticipation of the day. Upon arriving at the bakery, you're greeted by the familiar sight of the large stone mill, its massive wooden gears and grinding stones ready for the day's work. The mill is powered by a team of donkeys, their harnesses hanging neatly on the wall. In the corner, sacks of grain are stacked high, waiting to be transformed into the staple food that sustains the city. Your first task is to inspect the grain, ensuring it's free from impurities. You run your hands through the coarse kernels, feeling for any foreign objects or signs of spoilage. Satisfied with the quality, you begin the process of milling, guiding the donkeys into position and setting the millstones in motion. The rhythmic grinding fills the air, a sound as familiar to you as your own heartbeat. As the flour accumulates, you prepare the leavening agent. Unlike modern yeast, Roman bakers often used a piece of dough from the previous day, allowing natural fermentation to occur. This sourdough starter imparts a distinct flavor to the bread, a taste that has become synonymous with Roman cuisine. You mix the starter with water and a portion of the freshly milled flour, creating a sticky, elastic dough that will serve as the base for today's loaves. With the dough resting, you turn your attention to the oven, known as a fornax. This large domed structure is constructed from brick and clay, designed to retain heat for extended periods. You stoke the fire, adding carefully selected wood to achieve the optimal baking temperature. The heat radiates outward, warming the bakery and dispelling the morning chill. As the sun begins to rise, casting a golden glow over the city, the first customers arrive. They are a diverse lot. Laborers seeking sustenance before a day of toil, merchants grabbing a quick meal before opening their stalls, and even the occasional patrician sending a slave to procure the finest loaves. You greet each with a nod, exchanging pleasantries as you hand over the freshly baked bread, still warm from the oven. The day progresses in a blur of activity. You knead and shape countless loaves, each one a testament to your skill and dedication. The bakery is filled with the comforting aroma of baking bread, a scent that drifts out into the street, drawing in more customers. Despite the long hours and physical demands, there's a sense of satisfaction in knowing that your work nourishes the people of Rome, playing a vital role in the daily life of the empire. As evening approaches and the last loaves are sold, you clean the bakery, preparing for another early start tomorrow. The streets are now alive with the sounds of the city, children playing, vendors hawking their wares, and the distant strains of music from a nearby tavern. You make your way home, the weight of the day's labor heavy on your shoulders, but lightened by the knowledge that you've contributed to the sustenance and vitality of Rome. The sun has barely begun its ascent, casting a soft golden hue over the city as you prepare to craft the day's bread. The air is filled with the promise of warmth, and the streets outside are still hushed, save for the distant clatter of early risers. Inside the bakery, the familiar scent of flour and the gentle creak of wooden beams create a comforting backdrop to your morning routine. You approach the large wooden table, its surface dusted with a fine layer of flour from the previous day's work. The sacks of grain delivered fresh from the countryside stand ready. You select the finest wheat, known as siligineus, prized for its purity and used to produce the white bread favored by the city's elite. For the common folk, a coarser grain will suffice, yielding a darker, more robust loaf. Measuring the grain is a task of precision. Too much, and the bread becomes dense. Too little, and it lacks substance. You pour the measured grain into the mill, a substantial stone apparatus powered by a team of donkeys. The animals, well trained and accustomed to the routine, begin their steady walk, turning the heavy millstones that crush the grain into fine flour. The rhythmic grinding fills the bakery, a sound as familiar as your own heartbeat. As the flour accumulates, you prepare the leavening agent. Unlike modern yeast, Roman bakers often used a piece of dough from the previous day, allowing natural fermentation to occur. This sourdough starter imparts a distinct flavor to the bread, a taste that has become synonymous with Roman cuisine. You mix the starter with water and a portion of the freshly milled flour, creating a sticky, elastic dough that will serve as the base for today's loaves. With the dough resting, you turn your attention to the oven, known as a fornax. This large domed structure is constructed from brick and clay, designed to retain heat for extended periods. You stoke the fire, adding carefully selected wood to achieve the optimal baking temperature. The heat radiates outward, warming the bakery and dispelling the morning chill. As the sun begins to rise, casting a golden glow over the city, the first customers arrive. They are a diverse lot. Laborers seeking sustenance before a day of toil, merchants grabbing a quick meal before opening their stalls, and even the occasional patrician sending a slave to procure the finest loaves. You greet each with a nod, exchanging pleasantries as you hand over the freshly baked bread, still warm from the oven. The day progresses in a blur of activity. You knead and shape countless loaves, each one a testament to your skill and dedication. The bakery is filled with the comforting aroma of baking bread, a scent that drifts out into the street, drawing in more customers. Despite the long hours and physical demands, there's a sense of satisfaction in knowing that your work nourishes the people of Rome, playing a vital role in the daily life of the empire. As evening approaches and the last loaves are sold, you clean the bakery, preparing for another early start tomorrow. The streets are now alive with the sounds of the city, children playing, vendors hawking their wares, and the distant strains of music from a nearby tavern. You make your way home, the weight of the day's labor heavy on your shoulders, but lightened by the knowledge that you've contributed to the sustenance and vitality of Rome. As another day dawns in ancient Rome, you rise to the sound of birds chirping outside your modest window. The sun is just beginning to peek over the rooftops, casting a warm golden light through the cracks in the wooden shutters. Today promises to be another bustling day in the bakery, and as you stretch your tired limbs, you feel a familiar excitement mingle with the remnants of sleep. The first thing you do is grab a bowl of leftover porridge from yesterday's breakfast. You relish the simplicity of it. The texture is thick, slightly gritty with grains, but it fills your stomach and provides the energy you'll need as the morning starts. Once you've filled your belly, it's time to head to the bakery. As you slip on your sandals, you remind yourself to be cautious. You can't afford to trip and ruin yourself before a busy day. After all, a baker can't afford to be sidelined for even a moment. You step outside, bracing yourself for the chaotic yet rhythmic life of the city, where every corner bursts with life, color, and sounds that are both familiar and strange. As you make your way to the Pistrinum, you pass the local pub where last night's festivities still linger in the air. The remnants of laughter and drunken shouts float through the open window. You can't help but chuckle at the sight of a giant enjoying a lingering hangover, his head buried in his arms on the bar. You probably wouldn't survive a night of patricians, you muse, smiling as you picture the gathering of nobles that must have taken place there. Upon arriving at the bakery, the first task is always to ignite the fire in the fornax. You carefully arrange sticks and larger pieces of wood, striking the flint until the flames finally catch. The intense heat begins to fill the room, and you marvel at how your humble bakery becomes the heart of the neighborhood, a place of nourishment for both the body and soul. As the flames become more robust, the scent of ash fills the air. You turn to the large mound of dough on your work table, which has rested overnight, rising to a soft, puffy shape. Kneading the dough is an art form in itself, requiring strength and grace. With well-practiced motions, your hands press, fold, and stretch, releasing the tension in the dough. Suddenly, the door swings open, and in walks Domitius, a regular customer and local farmer known for bringing the freshest produce into the city. He greets you with an enthusiastic wave, a broad smile on his face. You share a quick exchange about the surprising arrival of a summer vegetable crop. You won't believe it, But tomatoes are ripening earlier this year, he exclaims, his passion palpable. You can't help but imagine how delightful a fresh tomato would be with that warm bread you'll have baking soon. You joke with Domitius about the importance of good dough equals fruitful crops. And he laughs, promising to return later for some of your finest loaves. After all, what better way to enjoy fresh produce than with a crunchy, warm slice of bread? As your morning continues, you manage to balance tasks with ease. You fill orders, preparing various types of bread. The commoner's rye, a few loaves of white for the elite, and even a sweet bread infused with honey that you reserve for special occasions. Each preparation leaves your workspace fragrant with the mingled fragrances of the grains. As the rhythms of the day unfold, you take a moment to reflect on your life as a baker. Do you remember those grand discussions about what truly constitutes the best bread? Historians still debate this in their circles, but you found that the answer lies not just in ingredients, but in the love and care infused into every loaf. The sun climbs higher, shining through the bakehouse window, illuminating specks of flour dancing in the air. You knead, shape, and place the dough into the awaiting oven. The heat envelops you, and as the loaves bake, you can't help but indulge in daydreams of grandeur, of bread being served to emperors and senators who appreciate the artistry behind your creations. After successfully baking the morning batch, you take a breather and enjoy a moment of quiet amid the bustling bakery. You lean against the wall, a slight smile forming as you think of how the community depends on your craft. You can almost see their faces, features lighting up at the sight of freshly baked bread. This feeling reminds you that even mundane tasks can hold a sense of purpose. It's a humbling realization. As the aroma spreads throughout the streets, the bakery fills with customers eager for their daily bread. Each cheerful face brings a spark of life to the bakery, turning your small establishment into a vibrant hub of social interaction. Greeting regulars feels like chatting with old friends. You ask about their families, children, and any updates on the latest city happenings. Just as you prepare to close out another busy morning, a group of children rushes in, giggling and pushing each other forward, their excitement infectious. "Can we have some bread, please?" a young girl asks, her wide eyes shining. You can't resist. You cut a small piece of leftover bread for them, watching as they scamper back into the sunlight. In moments like these, you remember why you chose this path. Despite the physical demands, this life as a baker fulfills you more than you ever expected. Maybe tomorrow will bring new challenges or perhaps new recipes to try. Regardless of what comes, you know that the spirit of community and the soul of your baking will remain at the heart of it all. Try these new creations, you call to them, slicing off small pieces of the bread for tastings. Each bite is met with nods of approval and delighted murmurs, the joy of your customers amplifying the joy in your own heart. You share laughter and conversation with them, hearing their thoughts on the flavors. "Incredible," one exclaims. "When do you plan to experiment with figs next?" You chuckle, telling them you'll keep that in mind for your next batch, a playful promise hanging in the air. The exchange feels uplifting, enveloping you within the warm embrace of community spirit. As the day continues to unfold, you stay busy, Between baking and serving, you also take moments to clean, mingle, and maybe share a joke or two. One of your regulars, a grumpy old man named Pavo, teases you about your new invention, comparing it to food served at banquet halls. If bread could ever be fit for the gods, this would be it, he grumbles playfully, a twinkle of mirth in his eyes. His antics add a splash of humor to your day, making the work feel lighter. After a fit of laughter, you nod in acknowledgement, knowing well enough that, in Pavo's eyes, you have already made a name for yourself in the high society of bread making. When the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the street, you realize you've survived yet another day. The bakery is slowly emptying as the evening settles in. You clean up the workspace, your body tired, but your spirit high. It's a day filled with not only labor, but laughter and camaraderie. A truly fulfilling balance that keeps you coming back day after day. Tomorrow will bring new customers and challenges, but as you stand in the now quiet bakery, the aroma of baking bread still lingering in the air, you know you wouldn't trade this life for anything. Each loaf tells its own story, and you're honored to be its creator. As the sun rises again over the eternal city, you awaken to the sounds of bustling activity filtering through your window. The streets are alive with the chatter of merchants preparing their wares and the calls of neighbors exchanging morning greetings echo in the air. You stretch, feeling the familiar pangs of anticipation, that instinctive eagerness that each new day as a baker brings. After a quick breakfast of bread and cheese, you pull on your tunic and sandals, ready for another day of kneading, shaping, and baking. You step outside into the cool morning air, the sunlight gradually warming the cobblestones underfoot. The world seems to awaken around you, each sound familiar yet invigorating, instilling a sense of purpose. You arrive at the bakery to the comforting sight of yesterday's leftovers, loaves that didn't sell, still bearing the essence of your craft. While many would see this as waste, you consider them potential ingredients for tomorrow's creations or even a chance to experiment with new flavors. The thought of crafting bread pudding or breadcrumbs for a simple meal comforts you. After all, a true baker uses every part of the process. As the fire blazes to life with your careful tending, the crackling warmth fills the bakery, and the scent of birch logs starts to mingle with the earthy aroma of flour. You prepare to mix the dough, but today you decide to offer something different, an elegant flatbread, perfect for pairing with fresh vegetables or cured meats. You envision your customers dipping it into olive oil or enjoying it with cheese, creating a little slice of culinary heaven. You weigh out your ingredients with precision, measuring flour as the sun edges higher, brightening the bakery. This flatbread will require less yeast, allowing it to bake quickly and take on that delightful crispness. Once the dough is adequately combined, you toss it onto the floured surface. The satisfying sound of dough slapping against wood resonating pleasantly in your ears. Your hands work deftly, kneading the dough into a pliable mass, one that feels alive under your expertise. As you massage the dough, you think about the ancient Roman goddess of grain, Ceres. Historians still debate the exact nature of her worship, but one truth remains. Bread was sacred, embodying life itself. You feel a sense of reverence as you create, knowing that each loaf you bake holds a part of that essence. Once the flatbread has risen a bit, you gather your freshly picked herbs, which were gifted to you by a friendly neighbor. There's something wonderful about having that connection to food sources, ensuring that your products are as fresh as possible. Chopping basil and adding it to the dough takes you to a sun-drenched Italian garden, bursting with colors and scents. You humorously think that if you had a few chickens, you might be an honorary farmer too. With the herbs folded into the dough, it's time to shape the flatbreads. You envision rolling them out into circular discs, resembling the structure of Roman coins, and homage to the prosperity bread hopes to bring. Each round shape is placed onto a piece of cloth to rest, allowing you time to clean your workspace again. As you step back to admire your handiwork, a slight breeze wafts through the open window, a gentle reminder of life outside. It brings with it the laughter of children playing in the streets, the lively calls of vendors, and the chatter of early morning customers. Soon enough, the first customers arrive, a mix of familiar faces seeking their daily provisions. Something about it feels like a tradition, a routine carved into the heart of your days. You greet them warmly, exchanging pleasantries, and as they sample the small pieces of flatbread, their reactions fill you with joy. You believe you've struck the right balance with the herbs, their eyes lighting up at the taste. Amidst the busyness, a young boy steps forward, eyes wide with curiosity. He asks if you will teach him how to bake someday. You too can join the ranks of famous Romans. You chuckle, feeling a surge of warmth fill your heart. You remember your early days of learning, the joy inherent in mastering new skills. Of course, all you have to do is promise to not eat all the dough. Even as you serve your customers, the bakery fills with the rich aromas of baking bread. It's a blissful chaos filled with laughter, chatter, and the unmistakable sounds of the community coming together, all revolving around your humble establishment. During the midday lull, you take a moment to lean against the counter, letting out a satisfied sigh. This life is not for the faint-hearted. It requires dedication and resilience. As you catch a glimpse of the golden loaves pulling from the oven, you can't help but think about how baking is much like life itself. Sometimes it rises beautifully, and other times it defiantly refuses to cooperate. Pondering this, a thought strikes you. Bread might just be the key ingredient tethering this vast empire together. Historians would argue that without such staples, civilizations would falter. It's fascinating to consider how something so simple could hold that power. Later in the afternoon, you receive a special order to prepare bread for a local festival celebrating the harvest. The excitement in the air is contagious, and you quickly shift gears, increasing your production to meet demand. The idea of creating something that will bring joy to hundreds of people invigorates your spirit. With renewed energy, you mix, knead, and shape countless loaves, each carefully crafted to perfection. You imagine the aroma filling the air as families gather, breaking bread together and sharing memories. Your heart swells with pride, knowing that you'll play a pivotal role in those moments. As dusk approaches, you reflect on the day's accomplishments. The laughter, the sense of community, and the love for bread connect you to those around you in ways you never expected. You notice how, without realizing it, you've become a cornerstone in their lives, a thread woven into the fabric of their daily routines. With the evening sun setting, casting breezy shadows throughout the bakery, You brew a cup of herbal tea, resting for a few moments. The day may have been exhausting, but you find comfort in knowing that tomorrow will bring new adventures, new recipes to explore, and, of course, new stories to share. After the children leave with satisfied bellies, you start preparing for the day's work. Today, you've decided to experiment with a new recipe inspired by the harvest festival ahead. You plan to create a sweet bread infused with honey and dried fruits, perfect for celebrations. As you assemble your ingredients, golden honey, plump figs, and dried apricots, you can't help but feel the exhilaration of creation bubbling within you. With the dough mixing in the bowl, you hum a gentle tune while observing the world outside your window. The streets are alive with vendors selling produce, street performers showcasing their talents, and families meandering about, all contributing to the rich tapestry of life in Rome. The vibrancy invigorates you, feeding your creativity as you bring the dough together with your hands. As you knead the dough, it starts to take on the exact consistency you desire. Its elasticity is like a soft embrace. You admire the way the honey glistens under the morning light, a reminder of how sweetness can emerge from even the simplest ingredients. Throwing in the dried fruits, you can already envision the delighted faces of those who will indulge in this creation. When it's time to shape the loaves, you form them into delightful twists, fusing a playful quality into this new offering. The sight is enchanting, golden brown swirls dancing with the hues of fig and apricot. You can already smell the sweetness wafting through your shop as they bake, a vision of golden dreams ready to emerge from the oven. While awaiting the baking process, you take a moment to reflect on the past. You think about how far you've come as a baker, those early mornings spent learning the trade, the first loaves that crumbled and fell flat, and the gradual mastery that slowly took shape over years of dedication and practice. Each failure was a lesson, and each success a reward that filled you with pride. At last, the scent of honeyed bread permeates the air, drawing in neighbors who can't resist the aroma. You watch as they stop in their tracks, eyes wide with intrigue. It's a dance of anticipation, but first, you must allow the loaves to cool before cutting them. The wait is like holding back the tide, but patience is a baker's best friend. Once the bread cools enough to handle, you slice into the first loaf. The texture is perfect, soft, airy, with hints of sweetness from the honey and bursts of fruit. As you serve samples to eager customers, their faces light up with delight, and you feel a rush of fulfillment knowing you've created something truly special. A woman known for bringing her children along stops by, her smile warm as she tries a piece. "This is divine. I must take some home for my family's evening meal," she exclaims, and your heart swells. It's these small exchanges that fill your day with meaning, that reaffirm your commitment to this craft. As customers gather and exchange stories over warm slices of bread, you realize how much these gatherings mirror the communal spirit inherent in Roman culture. Festivals and feasts rely on shared experiences, and your bakery plays an essential role in nourishing those connections. You're not just selling bread, you're fostering relationships and creating memories that linger long after the last crumb is consumed. Time flies as you find yourself lost in the rhythm of the day. There's laughter, banter, and a sense of camaraderie as customers join the chatter, swapping tales and plans for the festival. You feel a lightness in the air that is infectious, a joyous anticipation of the upcoming celebrations that will soon transform the city. At the end of the day, as the sun begins its descent, leaving swathes of warm colors in the sky, you clean up the bakery, feeling satisfied with the day's work. You prepare for tomorrow's harvest festival, where your breads will be part of the spread that brings people together. As dusk settles in, you step outside for a moment to relish the cool evening breeze. The air is filled with laughter, music, and the distant sounds of revelry. You look out at the bustling streets, feeling grateful to be part of this incredible tapestry of life. Tomorrow promises to be an exciting day, one that holds the potential for new experiences, new flavors, and new friendships forged in the heart of your bakery. As dawn breaks over the rooftops of Rome, the golden light spills into your bakery, heralding a fresh start. You rise with a sense of purpose, eager to delve into another day of baking bread that feeds not just bodies, but spirits. The tantalizing scents of herbs linger in your memory from the day before, and you can't wait to see how the community responds to your latest creations. After a hasty breakfast of bread and olives, you pull on your tunic, feeling the familiar thrill of responsibility settle on your shoulders. Baking is not just labor. It's a labor of love, and each day unfolds like an unlit scroll, waiting for your hand to inscribe new tales. Arriving at the bakery, you notice a small group of children gathered outside. Their faces are upturned to the window, eyes fixed on the bread counter as if it were a treasure trove. You chuckle to yourself, imagining their hopes and dreams revolving around aromatic dough and warm crusts. With a grin, you step outside and wave them in, saying, "Come closer, little ones. Your morning feast awaits." The children rush in, filling the space with laughter and unrestrained curiosity. You cut small pieces of last night's olive rosemary flatbreads for them to sample. Their radiant smiles and delighted exclamations tug at your heart. In moments like these, you bear witness to the magic of bread, a simple food fostering joy and community bonds. The competition looms large in the background, and as you interact with everyone, you begin to ponder the idea once more. Perhaps you could enter your new creation. Everyone here feels like family, your creations cherished for the stories they conjure and the joy they bring. Moments of doubt are replaced by an overwhelming sense of belonging. When the judges approach, their robes billowing behind them, there's an undeniable buzz in the air. You find yourself holding your breath, heart racing, a mix of excitement and anxiety washing over you. You take a step back, allowing all your hard work and creativity to surface in that simple loaf. As the judges take their time sampling the entries, you feel a sense of pride welling up inside you, even as uncertainty nips at your heels. After what feels like an eternity, they huddle together, whispering and nodding. The tension is palpable, and you barely notice the chatter around you. It fades into a background hum. Finally, one of the judges steps forward, an air of authority about them, and announces the winner. You find yourself crossing your fingers. When they call your name, the honeyed bread of our talented baker, you blink in disbelief, letting the words wash over you like the warm sun. The rush of joy surges through you, and you feel the cheers of your community envelop you like a warm embrace. The moments spent kneading, shaping, and perfecting the loaf culminate in this beautiful recognition, and you realize that this is more than just a competition. It's validation of your craft, your passion. As the festival continues, you bask in the warmth of camaraderie, laughter, and joy. The memories created today will linger long after the last crumb has been eaten, and you find comfort in knowing that your hard work feeds not just bodies, but souls as well. The morning sun rises with a vibrant glow, spilling into your bakery like a flood of honeyed light. Today is special. It's the day of the Harvest Festival, an occasion that fills the entire community with excitement and anticipation. You can already hear the distant sounds of merriment echoing through the streets as you awaken, and a thrill courses through you. After a quick breakfast, another delicious slice of your honeyed bread topped with fresh fruit, you pull on your tunic, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Today, your bakery will not only serve its regular clientele, but also many new faces seeking the delights of the festival. The thought both exhilarates and terrifies you as you make your way to the bakery. Arriving at your establishment, you find it humming with energy. Some familiar faces have come early to claim their favorite breads in preparation for the festivities. You smile, glad to see the community so eager for the day ahead. They fill the air with laughter, exchanging tips on which booths to visit, which games to play, and what delicious foods to try. Once inside, you begin preparing for the bustling day ahead. The scent of fresh baked bread fills the room, and as you take a moment to breathe it in, you can't help but feel grateful. You take stock of your supplies, ensuring everything is ready for the influx of customers. Today, you've doubled your batch of the honeyed bread to ensure that no one leaves without a delicious treat. You also made one additional item, a large savory loaf sprinkled with herbs and olives, perfect for those craving a bolder flavor to complement their festival fare. You envision families breaking it apart at their picnic tables, celebrating together, and you feel a swell of satisfaction knowing that your bread will be part of their day. With each batch baking away, the bakery evolves. The warmth from the ovens mingles with the exciting energy of the festival beyond your doors. Just as you're finishing the last touches, a group of children rushes in, bright-eyed and giggling. "Can we help?" one of them asks, excitement bubbling over. You grin, appreciating their enthusiasm. "Absolutely. You can help me pack some breads for the festival," you reply, inviting them to set to work. Their laughter fills the shop as they excitedly sort the breads into baskets, sharing stories and dreams of what they want to see at the festivities. Strong men, dancers, maybe even a whiff of roasted meats. As you all work together, you remind them of the importance of community, the very spirit that drives the celebration today. "We're not just baking, we're feeding joy," you say lightheartedly. They nod solemnly, as if they're taking this wisdom to heart while bursting into giggles at the next mess they make. Amid the bustling activity, a few of the festival organizers stop by to pick up your contributions. They thank you profusely and chat excitedly about the event, detailing the games, music, and the dynamic aura in the square. You learn about a competition for the best bread, and your heart races. Could you dare to enter? "Maybe this year's honeyed bread will bring me a title," you joke. But deep down, the thought of competition sends a tangible pulse of anxiety through you. The laughter of the children suddenly feels far away as you consider the weight of judgment that accompanies such events. Historians might still debate the role of bread in social dynamics, but today you only want to focus on the joy woven into your work. Before you have time to ponder further, the sun climbs higher, and it's nearly time for the festivities to commence. You finish packing, relinquishing baskets filled with your culinary creations to eager hands. Each basket carries the promise of a delicious treat and the potential to create cherished memories. As you step out of your bakery, the vibrant whirl of the festival sweeps over you. The streets are filled with colorful banners fluttering in the breeze, musicians playing lively tunes, and booths adorned with delicious offerings. The atmosphere is electric, a rich tapestry of sights and sounds, and you feel your earlier anxiety give way to sheer delight. You make your way to the main square, thrill bubbling in your chest. Families gather, children darting in every direction, while vendors shout to garner attention for their goods. The heart of Rome is beating wildly, alive with the energy of community spirit. As you set up your stand, you watch the locals and visitors flock to different booths. You engage with customers, young and old, offering samples of your honeyed bread. The joy radiating from their smiles as they take their first bites is simply priceless. They exclaim over the flavors, sharing their history with bread making and family meals. Stories layered like the loaves you create. As the evening draws on, the stars begin to twinkle overhead, the cool night air settling in. You take a moment to step away from the festivities, seeking solitude near the edge of the square. The sounds of laughter and joy blend with the gentle evening breeze. You lean against a stone wall reflecting on the day, the people you've met, the connections formed, and the importance of your craft. It's in these quiet moments that you realize how your life has intertwined with that of the city itself. In this vast network of stories centered around food, you found your place, your purpose. The simple act of baking has transformed into a celebration of life, a shared experience that nourishes both body and soul. You take a deep breath, knowing that tomorrow you will return to the bakery. The daily grind will pick up again. The kneading of dough, the warmth of the ovens, and the laughter of children peeking through the window. But for now, as you stand under the grand Roman sky, you feel a profound sense of gratitude, a connection that ties you to every face in the crowd. Your heart swells with the knowledge that, in some small way, you've become a thread in the fabric of this vibrant community. With the sun beginning its descent, you stand basking in the afterglow of the festival. A vibrant tapestry of laughter, aromas, and community bonding swirls around you. The morning's excitement gave way to a joyful chaos as families and friends gathered around tables, sharing stories and savoring the delicious offerings from local vendors. The competition had sparked a flame in your heart, igniting a sense of purpose that you had not fully appreciated until this moment. After receiving the praise for your honeyed bread, you find a moment to catch your breath. You lean against a nearby stall filled with fresh fruits and nuts, observing the festive scene while taking a moment to soak in the warmth of the day. Children run past you, holding hands, their joy contagious, while laughter bubbles over from tables where families share hearty meals together. The city is alive in a way that makes you grateful to be part of it. As evening sets in, the lanterns hanging overhead flicker to life, casting a warm glow over the celebrations. You decide to step away from your stand for just a moment, your heart still racing from the excitement of winning the competition. You wander through the rows of booths filled with handmade crafts, aromatic spices, and lots of delicious food. Your senses are on overdrive, drinking in the vibrant colors and inviting aromas that waft through the air, each one offering a different experience. Stopping at a stall filled with freshly roasted chestnuts, you buy a paper cone filled to the brim. The nutty scent brings back memories of your childhood, where you would indulge in the same treat during autumnal festivals. Nostalgia washes over you as you savor the warm, buttery drops melting in your mouth. With every bite, you find yourself lost in the memories as the warmth and flavors remind you of the power of community. As you stroll, your heart swells as you see families gathered, sharing your bread, laughing over snippets of daily life, and celebrating the blessings of the harvest. What started as merely a craft for you has blossomed into something larger, an essential part of a community that brings people together. You spot Domitius, that familiar farmer you always chat with, sitting at a table piled high with food. His wife and children gather around him, and they look up, calling you over to join them. "You must try our roasted pig and some fresh vegetables," he proclaims, an inviting grin spread across his face. He gestures to the spread laid before him, and your heart dances at the offer. "Only if you share a piece of that wine with me," you joke, raising an eyebrow playfully. They invite you to join the gathering, and you happily oblige, settling into the circle of friends and family. Laughter fills your lungs, blending seamlessly with the flavors of the evening as they share delightful tales of their harvest, from the joys of successful crops to the humor of mishaps along the way. At the table, you discover a captivating interplay of flavors. The roasted pig melts in your mouth, perfectly seasoned and tender, beautifully complemented by the earthy taste of fresh veggies. Domitius's children show off a basket filled with fruits they've gathered, and they challenge each other to see who can identify the most exotic flavors. The atmosphere is animated, wrapping you in a comforting sense of belonging. As discussions swirl around you, you find yourself sharing stories from the bakery, amusing encounters with customers, and your journey of learning to bake. Enthusiasm erupts as kids lean in, captivated, a few of them asking if you'd be willing to teach them your art someday. Each request fills you with joy, the notion that you could inspire the next generation of bakers like you were once inspired. Days like today remind you why you first embarked on this path. You see connections forming, laughter ringing through the air, and lives intertwined by shared experiences and nourishment. It unfolds before you, a beautiful reflection of the very essence of community that the Romans cherish. As the festival continues, dancing and music fill the space around you. Local musicians strike up cheerful tunes, and couples join hands, twirling and moving in rhythm. This spontaneity captivates you, and a generous spirit moves through the crowd. The celebration is infectious. You find yourself standing, swaying gently as the melody envelops you. Remembering your apprentice days, you can't help but chuckle at how serious you were back then about bread making. The warmth of family and community feels diverse from the pressure of perfection you once thought was necessary. Tonight, amidst seemingly endless festivities and laughter, you chuckle at the irony of life. You once sought to impress, but now find fulfillment in simplicity, in togetherness. As dawn breaks once more over the city of Rome, you awaken with a renewed sense of purpose, a freshness in your spirit after the exhilarating celebration of the Harvest Festival. The afterglow of the festival lingers in your mind, each moment a reminder of the rich tapestry of community woven together through shared experiences and the simple act of breaking bread. You emerge from your home filled with anticipation. Today feels different. It's a continuation of the joy that the festival brought, but with the promise of new challenges and opportunities as you step back into the daily rhythm of baking. With the sun rising higher, casting warm hues across the streets, you stretch and prepare for the work that lies ahead. After a modest breakfast, another slice of your leftover honeyed bread, you make your way to the bakery. Even as you walk through the bustling streets, you notice the echoes of laughter and chatter still resonate in the corners of your memory. It warms your heart to know that you played a small part in those joyful moments. Arriving at the bakery, you find it almost eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the festive chaos of yesterday. Yet, in that stillness lies a sense of calm, a reassuring reminder of the hard work that lies ahead. You take a deep breath, drawing in the comforting sense of flour and yeast that have become synonymous with your life's purpose. Your first task is to clean and organize the space, something you've come to embrace as a grounding ritual. You pull out your tools, wiping down surfaces to prepare for the day's work. There's something undeniably soothing about tidying up, each gesture imbued with the intention of crafting something beautiful that will nourish others. With the workspace prepared, you turn your attention to baking. Today, you have a mind to create a spiced loaf that reflects the changing seasons, cinnamon and cardamom swirled with sweet, sugary depths. These ingredients evoke warmth, similar to the memories of shared moments against the chill of evening air. You imagine how comforting a slice of warm, spiced bread will be to the families returning from their daily toils. As you measure out the ingredients, a thought crosses your mind. What makes a recipe truly special? Is it the quality of the ingredients, the skill of the baker, or perhaps it's the love infused into each loaf? The answer feels complex, a juxtaposition of both craftsmanship and intuition. As you measure the cinnamon, a subtle smile spreads across your face. A little bit of humor sneaks in. After all, it's customary to blame your ingredients when things go awry. Or at least, that's what you tell the children who come to help. You chuckle at the thought, reminiscing about how they believed you when you told them the dough makes the worst bread if it's sad. With the spiced loaf now coming together, you knead the fluffy dough on your counter. Its texture feels heavenly under your fingers, slowly transforming as warmth and energy work through it. It's a dance you've perfected over the years, and as you work, your mind wanders back to the tales shared at yesterday's festival. What would tomorrow's customers think of your new creation? You envision families sitting together, sharing stories over warm slices of spiced bread. You can almost see them smiling at one another, savoring each bite as they enjoy the comforts of home. It's these communal moments that make your efforts worthwhile. Once the dough has risen, you form it into loaves, carefully placing them in the wooden baking trays. As they rest, you remember your grandmother's patience, in allowing dough to rise, a principle she instilled in you about letting life unfold at its own pace. Baking, like life, required a delicate balance of action and waiting. With the oven heated and ready, you slide the loaves inside, and the aroma of cinnamon wafts throughout the bakery, a familiar and beloved scent that comforts you like a warm embrace. You check on your work over the next few minutes, your excitement mounting as the bread begins to take on a golden hue. In between glances at the loaves, you reflect on the community's energy. Yesterday's festival illustrated how integral your bakery has become in their lives. You have fed not just bodies with your creations, but hearts and spirits too. It's a realization that fills you with gratitude, a sense that you contribute to the lives of those around you in a meaningful way. While waiting for the bread to bake, you catch yourself humming a gentle tune, drawn from the melodies that lingered in your mind the night before. It dances through the air like the aromas from your ovens, encapsulating the joy of creation. You feel alive in these quiet moments, whiling away time while creating something that brings joy. Eventually, the timer signals the loaves are ready, and with gentle anticipation, you pull them from the oven. The gorgeous golden brown crusts shimmer as you place them on your cooling rack. You can't resist taking a small piece to enjoy, breaking off a chunk and feeling the comforting warmth radiate through your fingers. Taking a bite, your taste buds are enveloped in sweet and spicy ecstasy. The flavors dance, merging into a harmonious blend that evokes memories of cozy family gatherings during the colder months. This batch of spiced bread is blissful, and as you savor it, you're filled with contentment at having created something truly special. It's time to prepare for the midday rush, so you arrange the loaves and set out samples for passers-by. Before long, the first customers arrive, intrigued by the enticing smells that greet them at the door. As they begin to sample your newest creation, their eyes widen in delight, and you listen to the appreciative comments that roll in. "Magnificent," they say, or "This reminds me of my grandmother's kitchen." Each exclamation scores your heart in the best way possible. The warm connections formed over bread are what inspire you every day. As the afternoon unfolds, you find yourself engaged in conversations and stories, enjoying the customary exchange that binds you to this community. There's an easy camaraderie that makes each day feel less like work and more like a celebration of shared humanity. Your bakery, once just a simple establishment, has transformed into a gathering place, a crucible of connections nurtured over each round loaf, each hungry smile. With the warmth of the sun waning, you know dusk approaches. You begin cleaning up, tidying the space after your bustling day. The gentle rhythm of your motions calms your spirit as you think of tomorrow's possibilities. New flavors, new recipes, each dawn bringing new adventures. Once everything has settled down, you take a moment to step outside. The evening air is cool against your skin, and the streetlights flicker to life. The stars begin to twinkle overhead, illuminating the bustling streets below, where laughter and chatter continue to resonate. You lean against the wooden door frame, taking a deep breath filled with gratitude. You think of how your simple craft of baking is intertwined with the lives of this vibrant community, a true testament to the power of food and connection. Every loaf tells a story, sharing in the lives of those who partake, and you can't help but smile at the profound magic found in the act of breaking bread together. As another bright morning blooms over Rome, you awaken with a renewed sense of purpose. The rhythm of your life as a baker has taken on an exhilarating heartbeat, a pulse filled with the promise of fresh bread and community bonds. Each dawn feels infused with the laughter and stories from yesterday and today. You're ready to delve back into the warm embrace of your bakery. After a light breakfast, you slip into your tunic and sandals, the familiar fabric soft against your skin. You step outside, greeted by the soft morning light that bathes the cobbled streets in golden hues. The sounds of the city stirring to life envelop you, a melody of joy and activity harmonizing in the background. Entering the bakery, the smell of leftover spiced bread still wafts through the air, a reminder of yesterday's success. You inhale deeply, allowing the memories of laughter and community to wash over you, fueling your dedication to another day of baking. Today, however, you feel a tingle of excitement bubbling within you. Inspired by the vibrant life surrounding you, you decide to venture into uncharted waters. Today, you will attempt to make a dessert bread, something sweeter than you've ever offered before. The thought of cinnamon rolls swirling with butter and sugar drizzled with a light glaze dances through your mind. The idea alone sends a thrill through you, and you set to work, collecting your ingredients, flour, sugar, and cinnamon, as well as the rest of the items you'll need, cloves, butter, and honey. The preparation feels exhilarating, envisioning how this sweet bread will not only satisfy hunger, but uplift the spirits of those who get to enjoy it. In the peaceful solitude of your bakery, you blend the ingredients with the same care and attention you've cultivated over your years of experience. As you whisk the dough, the warmth seeps into your hands, and you can't help but hum a light tune, feeling the familiar rhythm of baking wrap around you. As you knead the dough, you reflect on how sweet bread has always felt like a special treat, an indulgence to celebrate moments of joy or comfort. The children from the festival last week come to mind, their eyes lit up whenever a new treat was laid out before them. You hope that today's creation will bring that same kind of happiness. As the dough begins to take shape, you allow it to rise, covered in a cloth. In the meantime, you prepare your cinnamon filling, blending butter with sugar and spices until it forms a rich, delightful paste. When the dough is ready, you roll it out carefully, brushing on your filling generously, picturing the smiles of your customers as they savor each bite. You roll the dough into a log, a skill you've practiced countless times, and slice it into neat discs. Each piece looks like a little treasure, promising gooey sweetness within. You arrange them on a baking tray, delighting at the sight of the spirals. They seem to beckon you to dive right in. As you prepare to place the tray in the oven, you can't help but feel a thrill of anticipation. Each swirl of cinnamon and sugar conjures images of gatherings around tables, festive meals shared with family and friends, laughter echoing through the evening air. This is what it's all about, crafting joy, one loaf at a time. As the rolls bake, the heavenly aroma begins to fill the bakery. The scent dances through the air, wrapping around you like a warm hug. With each passing minute, the anticipation grows, the rolls becoming beautifully golden, their edges crisping up to perfection as they rise. While you take a moment to appreciate this small victory, the first customers of the day arrive. They are regulars, familiar faces that smile wide upon entering, welcoming the comforting scent that greets them. You can sense their excitement. Some are eager to hear about your latest creation. With joy, you share your thought process behind the cinnamon rolls, and their eyes light up even more. "You can't promise to save some for us, right?" a jovial man quips, and laughter fills the room. You respond with a wink. "Let's see who gets here first." It's these light-hearted banters that fill your heart with warmth, that bring a lightness to your work. Once the timer signals that the rolls are ready, you pull them from the oven, and the warmth envelops you. These rolls glisten, draped in a delicate layering of melted butter and sugar, the swirl of cinnamon enticing all who witness them. The cracked crust amid steam, rising with every gentle slice you make to reveal their tender, fluffy insides. You take a moment to let your new creation cool slightly before you cut small pieces for samples. The moment they touch your tongue, you are enveloped in a world of sugary delight. The sweetness dances across your palate, the softness of the bread enveloping you in comfort. A satisfied smile spreads across your face as you prepare them for your eager customers. As you serve the first tastes to your regulars, their expressions change from curiosity to pure delight. The reactions are immediate. They devour the samples, laughter and joy filling the air as they express their heartfelt appreciation. One woman exclaims, "These are worthy of a feast in the emperor's hall." Moments like these remind you why you weave the very threads of community with your baking. Each laughter, each smile shared over a slice of bread solidifies the role you play in the lives of those around you. As more customers flock to your bakery to indulge, you can feel the impactful waves of joy ripple through the community. As the day continues at a pleasant pace, you take a moment to collect your thoughts and reflect on what you've built. You observe how food, while essential for sustenance, carries so much meaning. It's a language of love, culture, and unity. The simplest acts of baking have transformed lives and forged relationships. As the afternoon rolls into evening, you take a well-deserved break. You lean against the counter, sipping a cup of herbal tea and marveling at everything that has unfolded this week. Your bakery is more than mere brick and mortar. It is a sanctuary where people come together, sharing laughter and comforting nourishment. Your mind wanders back to yesterday's festivities, the way laughter rang in the air and the spark of joy ignited as families shared their meals. Today was just a glimpse of what your craft could achieve. It reminded you of the excitement that awaits each day in this vibrant tapestry of life in Rome. With renewed focus, you tidy your workspace and prepare for another busy day tomorrow. As night falls, you can feel a sense of accomplishment settle in your heart. The warmth of the community swirls around you like the comforting aroma of the bread you create. Stepping outside to take a breath of crisp evening air, you gaze up at the stars twinkling overhead. Each star seems to illuminate the chapters of your life, reminders of the beauty found in simple joys, the warmth of community, and the magic wrapped up in breaking bread together. As dawn breaks over Rome once again, you awaken to the gentle sounds of the city stirring to life. Today feels crisp and fresh, infused with a sense of possibility as you slip out of bed. Sunlight spilling through your window. You can already smell the aromas of fresh bread lingering in your dreams, inviting, warm, and familiar. After a quick breakfast of bread and fruit, you pull on your tunic, energized by the idea of all the new possibilities lurking just beyond the bakery door. It's remarkable how each day offers a blank canvas for creativity. Entering the bakery, you notice the space feels full of potential. The previous night's remnants remind you of the cradled warmth contained within every loaf you've crafted. As you begin to prep your workspace, your mind rolls over ideas for today's baking. You think back to the moments shared with customers and children alike, the laughter echoing as they reveled in the joy of bread. Recently, you felt their enthusiasm inspire you. A thought rises to the top. Perhaps you can make a new dessert that combines both bread and fruits for a unique afternoon treat. You decide on a fruit-stuffed brioche, light, fluffy, and adorned with seasonal fruits that can be locally sourced. Biting into this creation promises to bring forth the bounty of summer while celebrating the joy of your work. You envision how the sweet fruit will meld with the buttery brioche, and your taste buds tingle with anticipation. Gathering your ingredients, you set to work mixing flour, yeast, sugar, and butter, watching the dough come together in your beloved bowl. The pleasurable sensation of kneading fills the air with a gentle rhythm as you work. The heart of the bakery beats steadily as your hands unite with the ingredients, creating something alive. As the brioche dough rises, you spend your time preparing a medley of fresh fruits, juicy figs and ripe strawberries, chopping them into small pieces and mixing them with a sprinkle of sugar. You adore the vibrant colors pop against the workstation, creating a feast for the eyes. It's almost too beautiful to use, yet all the more reason to form something wonderful. While you wait for the dough to rise, you reflect on the community that surrounds you. This bakery has become a beloved refuge where the people of Rome gathered not just to feed their bodies, but to nurture their souls together. It creates a ripple effect of goodwill that extends far beyond your humble walls. Once the dough has risen beautifully, you gently roll it out on the flour-dusted surface, taking care not to handle it too roughly. You stretch and shape, molding it into a canvas for the fruity filling. Laying the fruit mixture down the center, you roll the dough around it, creating spirals that promise bursts of flavor with every slice. As you finish, you place the brioche into the oven, feeling a satisfied flutter in your heart. The anticipation builds as you wait for it to bake, warmth radiating from within your bakery, mingling with the sweet, fruity scent that cements itself in the air. When it's finally ready, you pull out the brioche, its golden brown crust glistening invitingly. You can already imagine the taste, sweet, buttery goodness intertwined with the tangy fruit. Once it cools, you delight in slicing it open, and the inside reveals the luscious fruits highlighting the center. Even the aroma is intoxicating. Letting the first slice air cool slightly, you offer it to a few nearby customers waiting in the shop, their anticipation palpable. "This is something new," you exclaim, watching as they take their first bites. The delight on the faces as they savor the combination warms your heart. One woman makes a dramatic sound, prompting laughter from the others. "This should be a festival in itself," she teases. The moment fills you with joy, reflecting back the light you've cultivated through your work. You relish these exchanges, feeling the community's heartbeat pulse around you, that bond strengthened by shared excitement over food. Throughout the day, gentle laughter and chatter filled the bakery as more customers line up to try the fruit-stuffed brioche. Each slice becomes an offering, a piece of your heart shared with every patron that walks through the door. You enjoy hearing snippets of conversations layered around the breads. Families share recipes. Stories evolve, and bonds deepen with each visit. During a lull in the action, a group of older patrons share advice on baking techniques gathered through years of practice, imparting wisdom that lightens your heart. Just remember, ideal bread is made with love and a bit of patience, an older gentleman tells you, and you nod along. Those sentiments ring true today, ever shaping your journey through baking. As the afternoon slips into evening, the buzz of the bakery begins to settle, and you feel an air of contentment envelop you. Cleaning up becomes nearly meditative as you wipe down surfaces, cues of laughter slipping into your consciousness. This environment feels like a haven, a testament to all that hard work and love have created. You lean against the counter and take in the surroundings. Shadows inching across the floor, laughter fading into gentle chatter, the comforting warmth lingering from your ovens. The bricks hold the stories of everyone who has crossed your threshold, and a deep sense of gratitude fills your heart. When the last customers leave and the day is almost over, you find yourself immersing in memories of the day, the satisfied expressions, the sense of community walking in and out of your bakery, the loving exchanges over food. It's a treasure trove of experiences you will cherish forever. As you take a moment to breathe in the tranquility, preparing to close up for the night, you gaze at the stars beginning to twinkle outside. Each one feels like a promise of more to come, of community, stories, and the simple joy baked into every loaf you create. Tomorrow awaits with the excitement of what you can conjure next, aspiring to forever weave the fabric of connection in the delightful path of bread making. With the soft light of dawn spilling into your bakery, you awaken to another opportunity for creativity. Today feels promising, a chance to connect again with your community through food, a love language that never fails to bring people together. You rise, eager to embrace the day and the adventure that lies ahead. After a simple breakfast, you dress in your tunic, the familiar fabric a comforting reminder of the role you play as a baker. As you step outside, the gentle morning chill greets you like an old friend, coaxing you into action with its refreshing touch. The streets pulse with life, and you feel invigorated by the prospect of a new day spent crafting artful breads and pastries. Arriving at the bakery, you are greeted by the familiar scent lingering in the air from the previous day's efforts, a tapestry of flavors woven into the fabric of your workspace. Today, you want to experiment further, a notion bubbling to the surface like the yeast in your dough. You recall the bountiful harvest season, the sweet abundance of fruits and grains, and the desire to incorporate that energy into something remarkable. Your mind dances with the idea of creating savory seasonal pastries filled with roasted vegetables and herbs. It feels like a celebration of the harvest itself, a way to honor the earth and those who toil in it. Gathering your ingredients, you feel the excitement sweep through you as you prepare the dough from scratch. The flour cascades into your large mixing bowl before being joined by water, salt, and yeast. You enjoy the rhythm of combining each element, the familiar dance of determination guiding your every motion. After the dough comes together, you set it aside to rise, and the time spent waiting becomes a moment of reflection. You think back to the people who frequent your bakery, the children with bright eyes, families returning after long days, friends laughing over bites of bread. Each encounter strengthens that connective thread weaving through your heart. Once the dough has risen, you prepare the filling. You saute colorful vegetables, zucchini, bell peppers, and onions, infusing them with aromatic herbs that cast an irresistible scent through the bakery. The simmering pot bubbles cheerfully, each pop a reminder of the flavors merging to create something delightful. As you blend the medley of warmth and earthiness, you reflect on the notion that food is not simply about nourishment. It's an experience, moments carved into memory with each bite. A savory pastry can transport you to the sun-drenched fields where the vegetables were grown, to the very heart of sustenance and community. Once the vegetables are perfectly cooked and seasoned, you roll out the dough, its pliancy reflecting the care that has gone into its creation. You cut it into squares and carefully fill each one with the delicious mixture, crafting little pockets of flavorful joy. Each fold becomes a testament to your dedication, a small creation embodying the essence of the season. After arranging the pastries on baking sheets, you slide them into the oven, and the warmth radiates through the bakery, melding with the savory scents dancing in the air. The anticipation builds as you await the transformation, each minute heightening your eagerness. While the pastries bake, you take a moment to tidy your workspace, reflecting on the harvest and how food helps cultivate friendships. You think about the times you'd gather with friends, sharing meals and laughter, and how important it is to create that space for others. The timer dings, and you rush to check the oven, eager to pull out the savory pastries. They emerge golden and crisp, sending a wave of tantalizing aromas wafting through the air. You allow them to cool slightly before cutting one open for a taste. The burst of flavors excites your palate, each component melding beautifully, creating a harmonious experience. As you prepare to serve your creations, customers begin to trickle in, drawn by the mouth-watering scents. They smile wide as they catch sight of your savory pastries, their eyes dancing with curiosity. You serve them samples, and the delighted responses clarify your intentions. You have succeeded again in crafting something that resonates within the heart of the community. One familiar face, a local teacher, exclaims, "These might become my new favorites. What a wonderful way to celebrate the bounty of the season." The words fill you with pride, echoing the sentiment with which you bake these treats. The bakery quickly fills with laughter and conversation, and joyous exchanges ripple around you as people dive into your offerings. A couple shares stories about their gardens, comparing the vegetables they've grown and how you've inspired them to try new recipes at home. Their connection to your food feels profoundly fulfilling and reminds you that food has the power to weave ties that span generations. Amidst the cheerful atmosphere, you feel invigorated as you engage with the patrons. Each person who enters carries their unique stories and laughter, adding life to your bakery. The moments spent breaking bread together become a celebration of life itself, a fragile yet beautiful tapestry of shared experiences. As day turns to evening, you notice the softness of dusk, wrapping around the bakery like a cozy blanket. You begin to clean up, tidying your space and savoring the day's lovely encounters. The gentle chatter fades, and the warm glow of lamps casts a peaceful aura over your now quiet shop. Before you close for the night, you take a moment to stand in the doorway, gazing out at the bustling streets. The day has held laughter, nourishment, and a sense of community, all brought together through the shared experience of breaking bread in your bakery. You feel profoundly grateful for the path you've chosen. This journey of baking has led you to create bonds, share stories, and build a community around the simple yet profound act of making bread. Tomorrow will bring fresh challenges and opportunities for growth, but for now, you relish the stillness that follows a day filled with connection and joy. As you step away from the doorway, you turn back and take one last look at this space you've nurtured with love and dedication, a humble sanctuary that serves as a beacon of warmth and togetherness in this vibrant city. With your heart full, you retreat into the evening, knowing that the oven will light up again soon enough, ready for the next chapter in your baking journey. As dawn breaks once more over the ancient city, you rise with the sun, its golden rays casting warmth within your cozy bakery. Today feels different. You sense a unique energy in the air, a hint of adventure mingling with the familiar comfort of your daily routine. Each day is a new opportunity to experiment and create. And today, you're eager to explore yet another facet of your baking craft. After a light breakfast, you slip into your tunic and sandals, ready to delve into the world of flavors that awaits you. Once inside the bakery, the soothing aroma from the previous day's bakes hangs in the air, a gentle reminder of the joys you've already shared with your community. Thinking back on the flavors that evoke warmth and joy, an idea begins to take shape in your mind. You've been wanting to experiment with a savory bread that incorporates local spices and perhaps even some cheese. The thought of crafting a rich, aromatic bread that celebrates the flavors of the region excites you. You gather your ingredients, flour, water, and olive oil, along with a selection of herbs and cheese. The elder herbs of rosemary and thyme that grow around the hills of the country call to you, whose flavors complement the warmth of freshly baked bread beautifully. There's something majestic in using local ingredients that speak to the heart of the community. As you mix the ingredients together, your hands glide through the process smoothly. You knead the dough with focus and care, feeling the texture transform beneath your fingers, becoming more pliable and alive with each motion. As you work, your mind wanders to the shared memories of past patrons, their laughter, joy, and stories that have colored every experience in the bakery. Once the dough has risen beautifully, you prepare the filling, mixing together soft, creamy cheese with minced fresh herbs. You let your senses guide you, allowing the aroma to tickle your nose. There's an instinctive joy in this process as you watch the flavors mingle and come alive in front of you. After rolling out the dough, you carefully layer the herb and cheese mixture onto the surface, using generous amounts to ensure each bite will be bursting with flavor. You roll the dough into thick logs, shaping them into spirals to create a visually stunning loaf that promises deliciousness within. Placing the spiraled bread into the baking pans, you can already envision the golden crust soon to emerge from the oven. you're filled with anticipation at how the aroma will fill the bakery, savory, herbaceous, and warm, all at once. Baking is a longing to satisfy more than just hunger. It's an expression of love for your craft, for your customers, and for the bonds that grow around bread. You place the pans in the oven, the radiant heat enveloping you like an embrace. The sounds of sizzling and crackling resonate around you, creating a comforting ambiance that flatters your senses. While waiting for the bread to bake, you tidy your workspace and reflect on the journey you've undertaken. The challenges, the creations, and the triumphs have all forged your identity as a baker. As the timer dings and you rush to check the contents, the sight before you is nothing short of majestic. The spiraled bread emerges, its surface golden and glistening, a testament to your dedication and artistry. The intoxicating aroma fills the bakery, and you can't help but smile, knowing it won't be long until customers arrive to savor your latest creation. Soon enough, familiar faces begin to trickle in, drawn by the enchanting scent wafting through the air. As you cut samples for eager patrons, the moment brings you joy, sharing in the anticipation of discovering something new and delicious. The bread, with its fluffy interior and rich, savory filling, earns enthusiastic praise, delighting each customer who takes their first bite. "Divine! You must save one for the festival!" a woman exclaims while others nod in agreement. Their excitement fuels your passion as you witness moments of delight play out before you. The atmosphere, infused with laughter and storytelling over your freshly baked creations. As the day flows, you engage in conversations, hearing thoughts and stories that contribute to the colorful tapestry of your bakery. Friendships blossom, and you watch in delight as patrons share their experiences, all underscored by the warmth of food and community. Your heart swells with gratitude that you have become a part of their lives, contributing to these shared memories. As the sun begins to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows inside the bakery, you realize the rhythm of the day has transformed into a serene conclusion. The bustle of customers has slowly tapered off, leaving behind an atmosphere filled with laughter and comfort. The final customers leave, and you start to clean up, reflecting on all the connections made today. The stories shared over each loaf remind you how food transcends its physicality. It brings people together, sharing their history, laughter, and knowledge through the simple act of breaking bread. After tidying up and preparing the bakery for the night, you take a moment to breathe deeply, inhaling the comforting scent of lingering aromas. As you stand in your now quiet space, you can hear the faint echoes of conversation, the subtle reminders of the day's joy. With the warmth of fulfillment surrounding you, you step outside into the cool evening air, gazing at the stars beginning to emerge in a velvet sky overhead. You feel a profound connection to the community around you, knowing you have contributed to its rhythm of life in a meaningful way. As the street lights flicker on and the city comes alive with the gentle sounds of night, you find solace in knowing that tomorrow will bring new adventures, new breads to bake, new stories to share, and new connections to forge. Each day is a continuation of an extraordinary journey, one tied to the community through the very essence of bread. Walking home, your heart feels light, filled with gratitude for the paths you've crossed and the lives you've touched. The journey of a baker is more than mere bread. It's a celebration of community, of life, and of every story woven into the fabric of the warm loaves you create. As the first light of dawn breaks over Rome, you awaken with a sense of excitement bubbling in your chest. Today is special. It's the day you've been selected to participate in a local competition, showcasing the craftsmanship of bakers across the community. The atmosphere buzzes with enthusiasm, and you feel the familiar warmth of purpose swelling within you. After a quick breakfast of your beloved fruit-filled brioche, you slip into your tunic and sandals, ready to take on the day ahead. Each step toward the bakery feels charged with anticipation. You think of the joyous faces you've encountered over the years, people who love your creations, and it fills you with determination. Today is your chance to share your craft beyond the familiar walls of your bakery. Arriving at the bustling marketplace where the competition is held, you take a moment to admire the lively atmosphere that surrounds you. The vendors are busy setting up their stalls, colorful banners fluttering in the breeze while the air is filled with an enchanting medley of fragrances. There's an energy in the air that ignites your senses, preparing you for what lies ahead. As you begin to set up your station, you notice the tables laden with luscious pastries, decadent breads, and intricate desserts prepared by bakers from all corners of the city. Each creation tells its own story, a testament to the skill and creativity that flourishes within the realm of baking. You feel a mix of exhilaration and nerves as you prepare, wondering how your offerings will stack up against such talent. With your workspace set and your heart racing, you take a moment to breathe deeply, centering yourself. Confidence washes over you as you recall the joy you bring to others through your bread. The essence of your craft lies not only in the ingredients or techniques, but in the love and passion you pour into each creation. While you wait for the competition to begin, you mingle with fellow bakers. Stories are shared, tips exchanged, and laughter echoes across the marketplace. Several bakers compliment you on the recent bread-filled creations that have captivated your customers, and it warms your heart to receive such genuine admiration. These connections reassure you that you're part of a community, a collective woven from the shared love of baking. Finally, the competition kicks off with a lively introduction from the event organizers. Their energy radiates through the crowd, and you feel your nerves begin to ebb as they announce the first segment, the chance to showcase a signature bread. Today, you've decided to make your savory herb and cheese-filled loaf. It's a creation that bridges flavors and techniques learned from both tradition and experimentation. As you carefully mix the ingredients, an inner calm washes over you. The process feels familiar, a comforting rhythm that resonates with every knead, fold, and twist. Your hands work like a fine-tuned instrument, revealing the dedication that has shaped your journey as a baker. Once you've prepared the dough, it sits comfortably while you take a moment to connect with onlookers and fellow bakers gathered around your station. They watch with curiosity as the bubbles in the dough promise great things ahead. You share the story behind your herbs and cheese, enlightening your audience to the artistry that transforms simple ingredients into something beautiful and cherished. When it's time to shape the loaves, a mix of focus and excitement washes over you. The process feels like an art form, each fold encapsulating a piece of your spirit and artistry. As you shape the dough into elegant spirals, you infuse every turn with love, knowing that you're sharing a part of yourself through your creation. Around you, the other bakers finish their beautiful creations, and the aroma of baking bread begins to fill the air. It's a symphony of flavors, herbs, cheese, and warmth, coalescing to create an inviting atmosphere that wraps everyone in a hug of nostalgia and comfort. After placing the loaves in the oven, the anticipation heightens as you wait. The air is thick with the aroma of baking, drawing in curious spectators who wander past your station, intrigued by the beauty of your work. You steal glances at the other bakers' creations, admiring the artistry of their pastries, while feeling a steady resolve in your heart. You remind yourself that while competition is important, it's also about celebrating the craft you love. Soon, the timer signals that your loaves are done, and with bated breath, you pull them from the oven. The colors are vibrant, golden brown crusts glistening, a perfect contrast to the aromatic herbs peeking through. The moment feels surreal as you slice into the first loaf, the steam rising in warm tendrils, inviting everyone to take a closer look. You present your creation with genuine pride, anxiety replaced with joy as you share samples with the judges and spectators alike. Their eyes light up as they savor the flavors, and that familiar warmth fills the space. It's the connection to the hearts through food that you treasure most. Cheers and applause erupt through the marketplace as the judges announce the next phase of the competition, a creative twist on traditional pastries. You feel your heart beat wildly with excitement at the prospect of transforming your previously successful recipes into something extraordinary. You quickly gather your ingredients, feeling a wave of inspiration wash over you. You think of flavors that have previously resonated and decide to create a unique spiced pastry filled with sweet cheese and honey. The thought of merging the histories of both savory and sweet speaks to the culinary culture you've come to love. As you dive into this new challenge, you realize how much growth you've achieved in this culinary journey. The trials and tribulations you've navigated have brought you newfound confidence, and the support from fellow bakers and community members bolsters your resolve. With each pastry you create, you pour your heart into the process, shaping them lovingly, knowing that each fold represents dreams, creativity, and the spirit of Rome. The bakers around you share knowing smiles, each one crafting their own journey through the delicate art of pastries. Once the pastries rise and bake, delicious scents of warmth fill the air once more, echoing flavors of laughter and togetherness, all of it embedded into the artistry of baking. The words of the older gentleman echo through your thoughts, and you heed his wisdom. Serve with love, and it will resonate. As the competition draws to a close, all bakers gather for the final announcement. You sit amidst your fellow competitors, all of whom have become friends over the course of the day, sharing the incredible experiences and the beauty of bread making. With anxious hearts, you await the results, the atmosphere electric with anticipation. When the judges take the stage, their expressions hold a blend of sincerity and admiration as they reflect on the creativity, flavors, and passion that flourished today. When they announce the winners, your heart races, but regardless of the outcome, you feel enriched by the experience and the community you have built. When your name is called as a finalist for both the bread and pastry categories, the joy that washes over you is indescribable. You've made your mark, and you reflect on the importance of these moments It isn't just about the accolades, it's the bonds you've formed and the joy you've shared through food. As you leave the marketplace, the sun begins to set, painting the sky with colors that mirror your heart's gratitude. You walk home with a renewed sense of community, the warmth of shared experiences clasped in your hands. Today was not just about winning, it was a celebration, a reminder of why you chose the path of a baker. Each loaf, each pastry, and each moment spent with your community forms a magnificent tapestry of connection that makes life rich and satisfying. As the sun rises gently the following day, you awaken to the sounds of Rome bustling with life. Your heart feels light, buoyed by the extraordinary experiences of yesterday's competition. A newfound sense of purpose swirls within you, fueled by the connections you've made and the joy that has blossomed through your baking journey. After a simple breakfast, you pull on your tunic and sandals, ready to return to the bakery. The energy of the city feels vibrant, and you sense that today holds the promise of new adventures and stories to be shared. You step into the warm embrace of your bakery, breathing in the familiar scents that await you, still slightly tinged with the aromas of yesterday's triumph. With a smile on your face, you survey the space. It feels like a sanctuary, each corner echoing with laughter, joy, and the livelihoods you've helped nourish. You consider the minor victories and the intimate connections that have formed over loaves and pastries, the undeniable essence of community that brings everyone together. Deciding to honor the spirit of creativity, you contemplate new ideas for today's offerings. Perhaps a fusion of both savory and sweet. You want to explore the flavors that have captured hearts and taste buds alike. Inspiration strikes you when you recall the sweet, cheese-filled pastries you made for the competition. Why not add fruits that speak to the harvest, transforming them into delightful breakfast pastries? You gather your ingredients, your excitement tangible as the thoughts take shape in your mind. Mixing flour, yeast, sugar, and warm water once again feels like home. Each ingredient resonating with the rhythm of your craft. Kneading the dough becomes a meditation, your hands moving with purpose as you channel both love and energy into the mixture. After allowing the dough to rise, you prepare a luscious filling, blending sweet cheese with fresh figs and a drizzle of honey. The mixture exudes warmth and comfort, evoking memories of family gatherings during harvest season. You can already envision how these pastries would brighten the mornings of your customers, made even sweeter by the stories they'll share. As you roll out the dough and fill each piece lovingly, you reflect on the roles of food and community in your life. Today becomes an opportunity not simply to serve, but to create warmth and joy within people. Baking transcends the act itself. It is an embrace, a celebration, a memory, waiting to unfold. Once the pastries are filled and shaped, they're set aside for their final rise before sliding them into the oven. The warm, sweet aromas envelop the bakery once again, making your heart swell with anticipation. Each moment spent in the creative process is another chapter in the ongoing story of your craft, a thread in the rich tapestry of lives intertwined around food. As the pastries bake, customers begin to wander in, their faces lighting up at the familiar welcome of your bakery. "What's that delightful smell?" a customer exclaims, eyes glittering with curiosity. You can't help but smile, excitement bubbling over as you introduce them to your latest creation. The moment the pastries are out of the oven, you share samples with your eager patrons, and their joy is infectious. Laughter erupts as the first bites reveal the warmth of sweet cheese mingled with the rich flavors of figs, captivating the hearts of all who taste. "This is like a hug and a pastry," someone shouts, and a wave of agreement ripples through the crowd. As you watch your customers indulge in the flavors, you find deep satisfaction in the communal experience of sharing food. It's proof that what you create brings joy, connecting people in a meaningful way. Conversations bloom like flowers in spring, the men and women around you sharing tales of their families, gatherings, and plans for the coming weeks. Among the laughter and chatter, you feel a wave of happiness radiate from the connections being forged through your craft. You glance around, heart full. This bakery, this community, is a living tapestry woven from resilience, laughter, and shared stories. Everything you've hoped to cultivate. In the quiet moments between the bustling waves of customers, you take a moment to reflect, that sense of fulfillment tightening around your heart. You've nourished souls and provided comfort through your creations. This journey, a blend of love, labor, and community, feels more meaningful than ever before. As evening falls, the sun dips low in the sky, and customers begin to trickle out, bellies full and spirits bright. You take a moment to clean up, inhaling the lingering scents that dance around the bakery. Savoring the last moments of the day, you relish the satisfaction of a job well done. When the final customer bids you farewell, you lock the door and take a deep breath, a wave of gratitude washing over you. The space feels alive, echoing with laughter and stories that linger in the air. You know that tomorrow will bring fresh challenges, new flavors to explore, and more moments to share. But for now, you revel in the warmth of what exists. Stepping outside, you lift your gaze to the stars twinkling in the sky. They serve as gentle reminders of the beauty woven into the fabric of your journey. Food, community, love, and laughter interlace in a beautiful dance, etching memories that stretch far beyond the realm of bread. As you walk home, feeling the gentle evening breeze against your skin, you carry the joy and warmth of the day in your heart. You've transformed simple ingredients into nourishing creations, shared laughter with patrons, and fostered connections that bring a profound sense of purpose to your work. You know that this journey, a blend of tradition and innovation, practicality and dream, will continue to evolve. With each loaf you bake, each pastry you create, and each story shared, you find yourself fully immersed in the beauty of life itself. And as you close your eyes that night, you prepare your heart for the wonder that tomorrow may bring. As you settle into the stillness of the night, a gentle peace envelops you. The day has unfurled like a well-worn scroll, rich with laughter, community, and the sweet fulfillment of creation. With each breath, you reflect on the journey that has brought you to this moment, each challenge, each triumph, and every connection woven into the fabric of your bakery. The world outside your window quiets, a serene backdrop contrasting with the vibrant life you've nurtured within the walls of your shop. You can almost hear the whispers of the stars above, echoing the sentiments of those who've come before you, an unbroken chain of bakers who've shared their craft, dreams, and love through the simple act of breaking bread. In this calming moment, you allow your mind to drift softly, recalling cherished interactions with familiar faces, the fleeting laughter of children, and the enduring wisdom of your elders. Each encounter has added a brushstroke to your life's canvas, painting a picture filled with warmth and connection. The lingering scents of the day remain with you, a comforting hug that wraps around your thoughts and emotions. With a heart filled with gratitude,